Well, this paper is coming along quite nicely here. Got a lot of strong reasons and some good research that you referred to. So that's good. There's a little bit of confusion in the paper about the specific solution that you want to increase or develop to make us even healthier than we are right now. So I want to focus on that as we go along. So right in your introduction you discuss some different restrictions. Smokers face, and I wouldn't get into all these details right away in the introduction. I would just say in a general way they have many restrictions, and it seems like your new restriction is going to be the warning billboards, which you said are being used in some countries in the Middle East, which is fine. So the problem here's the word therefore. I think what you mean to say is that in addition. So when you say that it should be prohibited, well, it already is. So I wouldn't say should be. For the most part, it already is prohibited. We have a lot of rules now against them, and you can discuss those later on. But you're trying to say that's not enough. We should also use warning billboards to go even further in restricting smoking. So now the danger of smoking. Well, I would start off this section very strong and give a very big statistic about how many people die every year and from smoke or smoking related conditions and diseases. If you want to spend a little time explaining the biological part, that's okay. And here this is a good in-text citation, but I think you can paraphrase this one. I don't think this language here is very powerful or special. I would paraphrase this one, and then when you make the reference here, you don't need the first initial. Nicotine is the dangerous chemical. I think you mean the most popular chemical substance, the most dangerous. You're missing a word here after most. Now very serious is the second-hand smoke. There are people, especially children, who are suffering because they are close to smokers. These problems are fairly small. I mean, the air quality of Buffalo is not really suffering from smokers, in my opinion. It's more the factories and the cars that affect the air quality. So I would not, you could even take this out. Spend more time talking about the really serious problems. These are also kind of serious, but kind of small and easier to solve or deal with. People waste money on lots of things, so the budget problems are also somewhat small. Now, I like this topic sentence. It's very clearly going to be discussing policies and how to reduce I wouldn't just say the damage, but I'd say the use of cigarettes. Okay, this is nice here. Companies are changing the kinds of chemicals that are in the tobacco a little bit to make it less destructive for the human body. Things have been done. And now you're making it clear that we already have new regulations. Some of these regulations, by the way, are only 10 years old or 15 years old. They're fairly new. And but you say that even outside, it's still a problem in some places, in some crowded areas like a concert or a park. There might still be, you might be breathing a little bit of the smoke from cigarette smokers maybe. I don't think you're going to be able to. I think what we're doing right now is already very strong to stop exposure to smoke. We need to do more to discourage smokers from smoking themselves and damaging their bodies or their children. So you found some evidence that taxes, heavy taxes, are working. Sales are declining. So maybe we should even have more federal taxes or something like that. Okay, here's where we need a very clear topic sentence that is about your new proposal to use warning billboards that would stop more people, discourage more people, remind more people about not smoking. And this is a very strong and, for some people, disturbing way to do it, but maybe it will help even more. And you should have some references about this, how they're doing it in other places. Is it really working? Is there any evidence? Are people saying that it's having an effect? It's hard to prove the effect completely, but we might be able to find some small indirect evidence. I think what you should discuss here is the fact that having these billboards they're not very expensive. So the cost is fairly small, and the benefit could be fairly great. And sometimes the pressure could be sort of indirect, like maybe your children are seeing the billboard, and then your children are telling you to stop smoking, even though you are not looking at the billboard. So it could have sort of that kind of an effect, possibly. So you need to try to explain how this might be a very logical, appropriate solution, even if you don't have clear evidence about the effectiveness of this approach. Then So I think your conclusion should just in a very general way say, smoking's dangerous, we're doing things to stop it, but we really need to do more because it's so destructive. And this is where you're going to be relying on your personal opinions and thinking about the costs and the benefits of billboards. Talk about what these photos and this strong language and explain in more detail to convince me that even like a city like Buffalo, even if we had 5 of these billboards, it could really have an effect on a place like Buffalo, and it might force people to think and to be more careful about their health. And I think it's a nice idea, and if all the other restrictions have not fully succeeded, but this is one final thing that we could do that really might work, even though it disturbs people to look at those ugly pictures and makes them feel upset. Still, it's better than thousands of people dying every year, which is what we have right now.